shout out to Chris Wills and Tricky Ricky for this, but I've recently got, it's called the 6-minute diary, and you spend 3 minutes in the morning, you write kind of 3 things that like you're gonna do that day, something else I can't remember off the top of my head, and in the evening you give yourself 3 things that you kind of reflect on and like what went well, and then 3 things that you can kind of improve on. And it's 3 minutes in the morning, 3 minutes in the evening, and it's 6 minutes. 6 minutes of your day is nothing. It doesn't actually take that long to do. Do you know what I mean? And I've actually found that it does actually make you feel a bit more positive, and you're like, right, I'm actually going to do this today, or right, I've reflected on today. This didn't go so well, or that did go well, and it is actually really good for the 6 minutes that you do spend doing it. And it's just the moment for like mindset, especially if you're struggling with motivation, just that little bit of positivity again. It's just, it's
to build on
big for me. I know. Yeah.
When I go through stages where if we've got a lot on, and I'm trying to like keep everything in my head, like I've got to write these programs, or I've got to reply to these emails, or I've got to sort this with the house, and I just think all these things in my head I've got to do, and then you get a bit kind of like overwhelmed, and then a bit kind of run down because you're trying to like remember all these things. And a bit similar to Jack there is, Fran always tells me to do it. I can always forget to do it, but when you get into that point where you feel like there's so much to do, and you're just feeling overwhelmed, then you just write it down, and you write down the most important things that you need to do the next day, whether it's 3 of them, 5 of them, write them down, and then when it comes to the next day, you can crack on, you do those 5 jobs, and then once you've done those 5 jobs, you can be like, right, what's the most important 5 things I need to do for tomorrow? And then you start working through it, and before you know it, because you've written them down, a lot of that is just dumped out of your brain. You're not going round and round in circles. And before you know it, you're on track. You've done all the jobs that you need to do, and you feel like you had 1,000 million things to do. You actually only had 7 or 8, but just because they were going round in your head 100 times each, it felt like 1,000. And you get them done, and then you feel happy yourself then, and that's motivation. Because when you get to the point where fucking flies pissing me off, you get to the point where
I thought he was just doing that.
It kept fucking hitting me. You get to the point where you feel there's loads going on, and it drains you, and you just like, oh, I can't be asked. Well, that's how I get sometimes anyway, and by just sitting down, whether it's training, stuff in your training or stuff in your life, sit down, you then ticked off. You do become happier, and because you feel like you're more in control of what you're doing, and you can see kind of, see where you're going in your week's work or your week's training.